Welcome to Paranormal Nightfall. The Screaming Woods. The Deering Woods is most popularly known as the Screaming Woods. Located in Kent, England, it is the site of many scary and disturbing ghost stories. Those who dare camp in the woods are greeted by whispers, footsteps, and screams that echo through the forest. The woods are located near the village of Plucky, also known for its own chilling tales. These are just a few of the stories from two of the most haunted places in England. The Deering Woods Massacre. The night of October 31, 1948, the residents of the Deering Woods area reported strange lights in the woods. On the next day, November 1, 1948, a resident walking the dog discovered the bodies of 20 people were found in the Deering Woods. All were villagers from nearby Maltman's Hill. 11 of the deceased were children. The bodies were piled up and none had any visible wounds or signs of struggle. No cause of death was ever determined. Weeks later, the police said the deaths were the result of carbon monoxide poisoning. Not everyone was convinced. What were the police covering up? 26 years later, a private investigator named Robert Collins conducted interviews with residents of the area. He was looking into the incident and concluded that the murders may be the result of a religious cult in nearby Smarden. Mysteriously, he died shortly thereafter in a car accident. Missing students. On November 6, 1998, 4 university students were camping in the Screaming Woods. That night, just over 50 years after the Deering Woods massacre, strange lights similar to spider webs were reported coming from the forest. Upon investigating the lights, it was found that the students had disappeared. After weeks of investigation by the police, their bodies were never found. Hanging Colonel. In a forest next to Deering Woods called Parkwood, an 18th century army colonel was found hanging from a tree. An apparent suicide. Witnesses have seen him hanging from a tree and even wandering around the forest wearing his uniform. At other times, people even heard footsteps behind them, but when they turned, no one was there. The colonel often walked through the woods with a sad expression and reached out to visitors. Horse-drawn coach. For over 20 years, a horse-drawn coach has been seen in the village of Plucky. In 1997, one resident even said they heard the sound of horses' hooves on a cobblestone street. Another resident relayed a story where she was returning home after babysitting her granddaughter. She witnessed a horse-drawn coach passing her in the opposite direction. The coach had bright lights emanating from its windows, and the sound of horses' hooves on cobblestones filled her car. Highwayman's Ghost. On the north side of the Deering Woods runs Smarden Bell Road. The road intersects with Fright Corner. Ominous hut. In the 18th century, a highwayman was known for stealing and killing his victims. The villagers, tired of his crime spree, caught him, nailed him to a tree and beheaded him. His blood-curdling screams can be heard to this day echoing through the Screaming Woods. But he's also known to jump out from behind trees and terrify anyone daring to walk through the forest. Headless Coachman. Around Maltman's Hill, a headless coachman can be seen driving his black carriage led by 4 black horses. It's unknown why the coachman is headless or why he continues to drive his coach around. White Lady. In the village of Plucky stands the 13th century parish church of St. Nicholas. In the cemetery is the burial vault of the Deering family. A white lady can be seen wandering the grounds. It is believed that she is the ghost of a woman who lived in the 12th century and was buried in a white dress. On one Christmas Eve, a man by the name of Walter Winans was walking through the dark manor of Surrenden Deering. Carrying his hunting rifle, the man spent his time exploring the foreboding rooms. Suddenly, he found himself confronted by the white lady in the manor's library. Winans raised his rifle and shot at her. The bullet passed through the lady as she vanished through one of the paneled walls. Red Lady. Another story of the parish church involves the apparition of a red lady. She was buried in 7 lead coffins within an oak one. It is believed she is called the Red Lady because she was buried with a red rose placed on her coffin. It is thought that the ghost is Lady Deering, who had a child that was stillborn. She is most often seen standing over an unmarked grave. Could this be the grave of her deceased child? Regardless, both ladies' footsteps can still be heard in the church. The Miller. An old mill from the 19th century sits in the village of Pluckley. Lightning struck the windmill in 1939. It burned to the ground and collapsed into a pile of charred lumber. Depressed from the loss of his business, the mill's owner, Richard Buss, hung himself. His spirit can still be seen with empty eyes staring at the spot where the old mill stood. Reports are that he can also be seen hanging during thunderstorms. Hanging schoolmaster. Schoolmaster Dickie Buss Lane committed suicide just after World War I. Children coming to school that day found the body. He is still seen today hanging from the same tree dressed in a coat and striped pants. Monk. At the edge of Plucky is a white house named Greystones. Built in 1863, the house was originally used as a rectory. A phantom monk has been seen on the grounds around the house and even within. The house is known for its poltergeist activity. Could this be the ghost of the phantom monk? Tudor Lady. Near the Greystones is a small cottage named the Rosecourt Cottage. Here, the apparition from a woman dressed in Tudor period clothing has been seen for over 250 years. Legend has it that the woman died in the house after ingesting poisonous berries. Possibly by accident or perhaps a suicide. She is believed to be the mistress of one of the Deering family or was having an affair with a local monk. The Tudor Lady can be heard calling the names of her dogs usually between 4 and 5 p.m. This is the same time she died. Watercress Woman. Near Pinnock Bridge, a misty pink female ghost has been seen. The woman is believed to be that of an old gypsy woman who sold watercress by the road after harvesting them from a nearby field. While smoking her old pipe, the old woman passed away in bed after her straw mattress caught fire. Deering Arms. The Deering Arms is one of the oldest buildings in the village of Pluckley. Constructed in the 1840s, it was used as a hunting lodge for the Deering family. It is now one of the most haunted B&Bs today. Poltergeist activity is common in the old building. Footsteps can be heard upstairs, chairs scrape along the floor, and objects are thrown from the bar smashing to the floor below. More terrifying is the ghost of an old woman in Tudor dress sitting by a window. She will often suddenly disappear. Screaming Man. A man died after falling into a clay pit at an old brickworks in the 19th century. He can still be heard screaming at night in agony from the fall. Screams are especially prevalent on foggy nights. White Dog. Near the St. Nicholas Church, a white dog can be seen. The dog will sit with the parishioners and even let them pet him. He will wander into the church and follow them to their pews. He can also be seen sitting quietly and staring forward in the building. The dog will disappear after many of these encounters. If asked about the dog, the priest will say that it has been around for hundreds of years. It used to belong to one of the church's former priests. Black Horse Pub. The Black Horse Pub stands in the center of Plucky. It was originally built in the 1470s as a farmhouse for the Deering family. The ghost of a little girl called Jessie is seen in the pub. Jessie likes to hide people's clothes and smashing glasses on the floor. Please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more content like this.